ATF for the family. Hell as you saying, I am the man, I go super saiyan when I'm on the beat, piles of sand, buckets and pans, I get to the bands when I'm in the streets.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Edward Tabascus El Segundo. They call me Herb, and with me to my left is my co-host.
Just Alex. What's up, y'all?
And this is the Herbsurdity Podcast with Alex and Herb, and we have a very special guest today, all the way from the West Coast, my West Coast connection, Inglewood native. This is Deangelio, Quincy Bones, Edmonson. How you doing today?
Oh, man, everything is gravy and biscuits.
That's what I'm talking about. I like that.
You like gravy and biscuits, right?
I love gravy and biscuits.
who don't?
It's Southern tradition.
Yeah.
And gravy and biscuits is good, right? So
It's phenomenal.
So you know how I'm doing.
All right, that
Set
makes
the
perfect
tone.
sense. Yeah, I love that. Now, there's a couple things that I wanted to get with Deangelo about today. Well, we're gonna start it off with something major. For those who do not know, and for those who do know but want to hear all about it all over again, Quincy Bones here has a network, if you will, a record label, right? Started from scratch. Show them the shit.
Right here in the camera?
Yes, sir.
Right in the camera. Let them see it,
Lovely shirt.
right? Now, I'm going to let y'all tell them exactly how many artists, right, how many people are affiliated with this record label, because it's a grand number. I was very surprised to first hear it.
Yeah, me too.
And it to hear how successful somebody can be, standing right next to you, it always mess you up.
Yeah.
Like the first time, it's very shocking. But if you could, brother, please let us know the beginnings of that, because that's the most important part. Like the reason why is, I think is very influential.
Still in my gimmick, man.
I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
No,
you go
you
ahead.
asked him the question.
I mean, I had to start off with a serious question, because I ain't had enough to drink yet. Y'all see the bottle? It's getting there though. By the way, this bottle was provided by Deangelo Edmonson. I want y'all to know that right now. Gift from the guest. You know what I'm saying? He understands the show. He understands what we're getting into.
Go ahead, sir.
All right. Starting from scratch originally started in 2010. Myself and my co-CEO, DJ Mike T. I don't know if you guys heard of him, but he's from a group from the 80s, the CMW. It was
Okay.
Mike T and MC8 and a few others. Their names escape me right now.
That's
However,
all right.
it's Compton's Most Wanted.
Okay, yeah.
DJ Mike T is the DJ from CMW. So if you've seen Menace to Society and all those movies, that was his. He was a DJ for MC8.
Gotcha.
So that's my co-CEO for Starting from Scratch Records.
Okay.
There's also a subdivision of Starting from Scratch Records, which you call the Haters.
Okay.
And it's not the hate on you. We're not the haters. It's the hate us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the whole concept of our label was to get kids out of the streets.
Right.
We wanted to have a place where they can go besides the park, besides the basketball courts, besides every other outlet that's out there. What we did was make a platform where they can express themselves for what they can do. You know what I mean? So what we actually did was like, do you rap? Some kids were like, no. Can you sing? No. Can you play basketball? No. Can you hold a camera? Yeah. Well, you're the photographer for today.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, other people who were involved was like, well, I can braid hair. Well, you're the stylist for today.
Yeah. Okay.
So actually, what we did was we rounded up all the neighborhood kids and figured out what they can do, how they can provide a service to our label, and we were hoping to make millions of dollars off of this. However, that didn't happen, but we did keep a lot of kids out the streets.
Right.
And it formed into something, beautiful. because what we do is like, okay, so this person might rap, this person might sing. We would put them in the studio because the studio was at my house. The studio ran every day from whatever time school got out to 8 o'clock, because 8 o'clock.
Prime hours.
Prime hours, so 8 o'clock is over with. So, but whatever we can accomplish before 8 o'clock, we're going to do.
Yeah.
So we go on YouTube and download a track, or we had other people that made actually original beats. And we would make the song, and that would be throughout the week. Monday through Friday, we'd make the songs. On the weekends, we would go to the park, shoot a video with that person, whoever made the song, and we would post that on YouTube. And that page is still up. So after the song was made, we go to the park in California right now. All the parks they built skate parks inside of them.
Right.
So we started our own skateboarding team.
Nice.
So we got the Hate Us skateboarding team. We got Start from Scratch Records, and we also have the Hate Us. And then individually, each artist that did have a repertoire of songs where they can actually produce an album or make an album, we put them in the studio to make that album, and we put it out there. And I worked in a liquor store in California for 7 years, and that was our distributing point.
Gotcha. Okay.
Where we would just burn CDs and pass them out for free.
Yeah.
Independent distribution.
Yeah.
And we never asked for any money back. It was more of a community project to keep everybody out of trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it did. And it did. The label is actually still going in California. So DJ Mike T is still doing his thing, and he's still producing records. So if anybody wants to look him up, just look up DJ Mike T of CMW, or you can type in SFSR, Start from Scratch Records. We can be found on Google. There's a bunch of others who names escape me right now.
Yeah.
But if you look through our YouTube or Instagram or whatever, everybody's link is there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And what I want to do too here is like I want to put you guys' link on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on my, so that way we can connect in the middle.
Right.
And then also what's another important fact to mention is that I have, I'm going to say, relatives in Oklahoma. And additionally, additionally with the people we had in California making music, they were also started their own chapter in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happened there was like every month we would do 18 tracks, or maybe we would take the top 18 tracks we made and put that on the CD and pass it out.
It's like a mixtape or a compilation.
Yeah, it's mixtapes
Okay.
all day long. So we also had people in Denver.
Oh, all right.
We also had people in Virginia.
Nationwide.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where my nephew comes in. That's where my brother-in-law comes in, because they've been stationed in Virginia for like the last 25 years.
Okay. What's their names?
Melvin Sparks is
Okay.
my brother-in-law,
Gotcha.
and I can't think of his link, but it is on my Instagram page.
Okay.
My nephew is Uno. It's the demo.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you look him up, he's on my Instagram. I mean, and then we also have Mooch Dog. We have a bunch of other, people who, I mean, it's not really necessarily about the money, but if you associate with us, we're going to plug you and put you in on our channel, and hopefully everybody can, I mean, like, if you make it,
Yeah.
you still have a network behind you.
Right.
We don't need what you got, but at the same time, if you mention this, it's gonna keep the
Spread
flow.
the word.
It's gonna keep going. You know what I mean? So it's a big network.
So, like, I don't know if you know, like, what Tupac wanted to do back in the day before he died, but it sounds like what he was trying to do, make a community-driven record label.
Yes, and I feel like now it's interesting. I mean, we're both from the West Coast, but I do feel like what's missing is more of that giving back, right? Because we always have a lot of people that they'll make it big, right? And they donate back to the schools, providing shoes and clothes and school supplies. 21 Savage, Meek Mill, the first time they get signed, the first thing they do with their money, I don't even put it back into their craft. They put it back into their community first.
Yeah, they buy their mama house too, probably.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I do appreciate what really tells me the character of a person and if I really should rock with them or not is how much they care about where they came from.
Right.
And how much they want to see others succeed. And that's one of to be honest, everybody, that's exactly why I wanted Deangelo on the show, is I needed y'all to hear this story about a brother making sure that everyone around him was getting taken care of, that everybody was getting the help they needed, so you could see everybody have a life for another day, and that's very special to me. I feel like it's something we're missing a lot of out here, and I talk about Jay-Z a lot and how much I appreciate him. I mean, he started a whole school just for kids in New York that wanted to study in the arts and wanted to do something different, and public school wasn't good enough because they keep cutting the programs because of funding, and vocational things, any type of development of talent, it kind of gets stifled. Yeah. Right. It's like you learn by the standardized test and forget everything else. And so he started a whole school just to dedicate to people wanting to learn outside of what they want to teach you in the textbooks, which is a little rough for everybody, honestly.
There's no clear path for like art. You know what I mean? No. It's unfortunate.
No, we finally got a governor school around here, just for that, arts and technology.
Yeah, tech is a little more, I think, accepted though. Because of Google, there's so much money in it. You know what I mean?
It is, and that's why they did both, because they realized that like some kids, they can't sing, they can't play piano, they can't act, they can't pick up a paintbrush and do something, but they can program a robot real good. Right. You know what I'm saying? They can do digital art, they can do 3D art, they can do software coding and design. Like they know that aspect, right? Like they can't work with traditional tools, but somehow somebody figured out how to take a keyboard and make something happen with it, and they wanted to incorporate that. It was more of an inclusion thing, where people in the fine arts were kind of excluding digital art.
Really?
Yeah, that's a real thing. There's a lot of gatekeeping that goes on in the art world. So now it's becoming more prominent and more acceptable to do digital art because everybody's showing their art online.
Yeah, true.
Everybody's making digital versions or whatever, and it's easier to upload when you start doing it digitally. And the art style and art forms are different than traditional formats. It's like there's techniques you would use with charcoal or a paintbrush or a pencil that are not the same when you're drawing digitally. Right. It's almost like you got to relearn how to draw, because there's a setting for that. Yeah. Right. You don't know how to use a spray can. It's cool. Use a pencil, but there's a setting to make it look like you sprayed. So now you got to learn what spray look like, how to actually do spray, and then how to translate that with a pencil, right? So it's all fluid motion of the arms. But that's a whole nother thing. I feel like I'm diverging into a weird sentiment.
No, but I really understand, because I'm also an artist. I can draw, so Ooh. You have to know that shading. Just like if you're doing a tattoo, you have to know how much amount of pressure to press to get the shade to, become three-dimensional.
You did a little tattooing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk about that? Like, what got you into that?
What got me into it was basically I can actually draw,
Right.
I wouldn't call myself an artist, but I can really draw, So just drawing, like people would look at my pictures and be like, can you tattoo? Like it can't be too much harder than shading with the ink pen. And I've done a lot of shading with ink pen, and that's why I see what you're saying as far as relearning with graphics. Yeah. Like on a computer, you would have to know what points you need to go to on that computer to find that color you need. So at this point, it might be a red, and then to shade it out, you have to bring the orange in, and then maybe a little pink to just make it look more three-dimensional. I mean, like any artist, anybody who draws will tell you about the shading and how you have to. There's a whole nother element if you're drawing with pen, if you're drawing with pencil, if you're drawing with color pencils. And the computer is going to, you have to retrain yourself each time. You know what I mean? So I understand that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's like things like cross hashing ain't even the same no more. Like that's an archaic form now. And to translate it in digital form, it takes way more effort than literally just popping a new setting on and letting it go. Like they got a setting just for the shading already.
Yeah.
They know what you gonna want, but then you gotta learn how to use it because it's gonna put all the light on one side.
Yeah,
and it may not be the size you want.
That is something that because the pressure thing is always different. Because in real life you can apply to what type of pressure you need, but with like digital,
they got settings for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so F3, F2, F1.
That's crazy.
So this part right here is the F1. Over here is the F2, and they bring a little F6 in there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You got to really know. You can't just fill it out. You got to know what you want to do.
Yeah.
The good thing about that is they got that setting called undo.
True.
Yeah, that's the
Undo
best
it.
one.
That's
you only need an eraser no more. That's love for real.
So let me see how I want to ask this question. Who was your influence, I guess, from a business perspective to start the record label?
From a business perspective,
because you got your Master P's and your Jay Prince's out there, your Puff Daddy, Sean Combs is
It's old school, baby. You know what I'm saying? You got your Ruthless Records on. Don't forget.
actually, this will not be surprising, but my influence, I would have to say, would be Parliament.
Ooh,
Wow.
yes.
okay.
I grew up in a house where all the adults were playing dominoes.
Yeah.
And
Loudly. Nobody ever plays dominoes quiet.
they would play dominoes and they would play music. And so I'm getting all that 70s funk.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense, though.
And the Mothership and Parliament
yeah.
turntables and mixing.
Mm-hmm.
I just look like this. I'm really a older person, right?
Yeah.
So in my household, I always heard the funk.
Yeah. No, that makes sense, though.
And then when I heard DJ Quick,
Yeah.
like I know that song, and I know that DJ
samples,
Quick.
yeah.
DJ Quick took all of that. You know what I mean? So, and then you also have Dr. Dre.
Right.
Dr. Dre's. He got a lot of old school stuff also, right?
Yeah.
But if you, for anybody who, everybody in the world can go on YouTube. But if you look at Parliament, you can see their whole style was community.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Parliament was always a community, to whereas they had 15 people on stage at all times,
Yeah.
maybe more.
Before Wu-Tang. Yeah.
Before Wu-Tang.
Yeah, before Wu-Tang.
And I love Wu-Tang. Don't
Yeah.
take
There's
this the wrong way.
shade.
Yeah, but Wu-Tang did the same thing that Parliament did.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang was just I was Wu-Tang's age.
Mm-hmm.
So when they came along, they did their thing and they did it good. You know what I mean? But my influences were like, I would say, like the funk generation, and how they had a whole community on stage at every time. It wasn't one artist.
Parliament was the first group that I know of that had 1,000 people in the group.
It wasn't Bootsy Collins. It was Parliament.
Yeah.
It wasn't George Clinton. It was Parliament. You know what I mean? So although they all broke off into their different things and they were all successful at that, my influences was that community.
Mm-hmm.
To whereas everybody on the stage did something.
Right.
And they even had people in the audience like, cheer us on. So the rest of the people would cheer us on too. You know what I mean? And the Mothership landed, and they had a big party on stage, and they kept they stayed out of a lot of stuff because they had that that outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They weren't political activists. I mean, they were, but at the same time, that kept them out of the main focus, to whereas that was their outlet. They expressed it through music.
Right.
And that's all I tried to create with Starting from Scratch. Well, I won't say I, because there is no I in team.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like I mentioned before, DJ Mike T of CMW, he's the one who came up with Starting from Scratch Records. And then one of my other associates, we actually did have a chance to sign with someone else, but they would string us on.
Right.
They'd be like, yeah, we'll pick y'all up on Friday. Y'all just be on the block, and we going to come pick y'all up. So we go get dressed up, and we sitting out there on Friday like.
Left standing on the street like.
We waiting.
It's raining in California for the first time all year.
It doesn't rain in Southern California. That Tony wasn't lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is because in California, it might rain for 2 weeks, right? But 15 minutes of rain out here is that 2 weeks in California. That makes sense.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So when Tony said it never rains in Southern California, that's not rain. When you come to Virginia, this is rain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in that aspect, they knew exactly what they were talking about. But again, me and one of my other associates, he's also on my Instagram. We would wait for these guys to come pick us up so we can go make these songs and make our millions of dollars too.
Right.
But they left us hanging. So we just said, you know what, we're going to start our own record label. We're going to start out a record label from scratch. Right? And when we get successful, just hate us. Because we're gonna be more successful than y'all. You know what I mean? But that didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't more successful than them. But we did a lot of positive work in the community.
That's success, though,
So
right
that is success.
Yeah.
It's not money, right?
Yeah.
And
Lives saved is more valuable.
it's more. It's priceless.
People need purpose, man. You gave people purpose.
Yeah, and I feel that, and it's if you ever get a chance to check out our YouTube page, you will see it. All the kids that are there, they're promoting the skateboarding team. They're promoting the label. They all have a song they could take home to their mom and play for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And that's and like I said, we did 18 tracks every month for 7 years.
Yeah.
We got about 1,200 songs,
You know what I mean?
if not more.
Right.
Yeah.
So how many people you kept off the streets, even for a little bit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but our success record speaks for itself
Yeah.
because at that there's a lot of gangs in California too,
Right.
and it's more like every let's say 3 mile radius is a different gang.
Crazy.
Yeah, I see.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it gets to the point where you representing 2 blocks of space, yeah, it's like
and I lived in 2 blocks of space for my whole life.
Oh man.
I moved to Virginia. I was like, "We're for real. This is. I mean, I can really live like this.
Yeah.
You know? I can stop at any gas station.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shit, I can go to any grocery store.
Yeah.
It sounds even funny to say, but it's reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's West Coast and East Coast is 2 totally different places, 2 totally different worlds.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, y'all always see a smile on my face. I'm always happy. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I ain't
yeah.
got nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Since I've known you. Yeah.
Yeah, and out there I did it through the music. Out here I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna relax for a minute. You know, get my wheels back, get my marbles back. You know, I can actually exhale.
Right.
You know what I mean? I exhale out here. You know, out there it's everything, because in California nothing closes.
Right. Which is crazy though, because you got people who go to Cali to exhale.
I mean, but
Because they don't know about it.
yeah. And then
No.
if can I say MF?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, the Ghetto Boys, Scarface, Willie D, and Bushwick Bill,
Yeah.
old school. Willie D in one of his songs says, "Your ghetto ain't no harder than mine, motherfucker."
yeah, there you go.
I mean, so ghettos are ghettos. I don't care where you at.
That's true.
I mean, somebody will knock off your toupee out here just as quick as they will in California.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's nothing that's harder about that or California than, you know, in East Coast, West Coast. Neither one is harder. You can get hurt on either coast.
Yeah.
Right, so there is not one that's better than the other one or harder than the other one or tougher than the other one. But the thing is, you have to know where you at and you have to adapt to that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everything read a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no, go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt.
One man's meat is another man's poison.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
California was my poison.
That's true.
Virginia is my meat.
Yeah.
There it is.
It might be reversed for others.
Right.
You know what
That's
I mean?
true.
So, but again, nothing in California closes.
Yeah.
The liquor stores close at 2:00 and open back up at 6.
long enough to count the till and mop the floor. Yeah.
And then it's like liquor store, McDonald's, Burger King,
Right.
weed store, church.
Yeah.
Repeat.
Yeah.
Liquor store, McDonald's, BurgerKing, weed store, church. You know what I mean? And it's like that for miles and miles and miles. You know, so if you whatever your poison is, you can find it 24 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For those who aren't familiar with Petersburg, at one point, so a little bit of history about the area. Deangelio, that I don't know if anybody's ever told you the scenario here on the East Coast. So, during like the crack epidemic, it got real bad here in Virginia specifically because New York and Miami, halfway between the two of them, is Richmond. and Richmond's ugly stepbrother is Petersburg. Like, we're twin cities, which is not cool because we don't look nothing alike.
Nothing.
But historically, we are the two major cities of Virginia,
Right.
which is weird because Petersburg's mad tiny and white flight destroyed it. But besides that, we'll digress. That's for another podcast, I think. So the crack epidemic hit us super hard and destroyed our city even further. Like, Petersburg was still like a thing in the 80s, and then like crack happened, and then like and now it's in its current state. Like, it's still healing and it's still hurting. But because of that, we got these weird developments on the East Coast, and this particular area got so infused with like bad blood and like a need to heal, that it also produced a lot of attempts at like community rebuilding. Mm-hmm. So we got these weird situations where there was so many abandoned buildings at one point that every other building was a church. It's like there's a church on every block. So they say you go to Petersburg, there's a church every 2 blocks. Some of those churches have closed since then. It's gotten a little bit better, but like, it literally was like, all right, that was a dope spot. You know what I'm saying? I was growing up in the 90s. And then I come around, it's the 2000s now, and they're trying to get better. So, like, that dope spot is now a church.
Yeah.
And it's like, just people's houses is churches now. Just go to the street, everything a church. I was like, there used to be a plaza. There used to be a mall. Now it's a food line, 2 Chinese restaurants, and a church. Like that's what it is now.
But like,
everything turned into a church. Winn-Dixie, church now.
My only thing is, and I guess it's like a weird commentary on religion, but like the whole neighborhood beat the fuck up.
Yeah.
Church, the cleanest thing ever.
Yeah. No.
Ever.
So I
know trash in the parking lot. They got a scoreboard with the electric signs saying "Come and pray" and stuff.
I used to go to Oak Street AME Zion Church in Petersburg. That for those who don't know, the AME Zion Church, that's the first black started denomination, right? So it's African American Methodist Episcopal Zionite, right? So free blacks in America went ahead and started that as soon as slavery was over, like the next day type stuff. Like when the North got free type, like, you know what I'm saying? So the one in Petersburg is actually one of the oldest.
Okay.
That church is dumb old. Like the bottom, what we call the basement there, is the original sanction. It was like underground, so you didn't even see it was there type stuff. Like, that's what we at.
Definitely haunted.
Yeah, no, bro, please, yes, it is
100% haunted.
So that development of the black community, right, and like it's progressed over 100 years of history. You know, archbishops and whatnot, and there's like a whole government type deal. Like I said before, Petersburg's home to the oldest free black community in America, in the United States. That's a thing. Pocahontas, for those who don't know. So a lot of history is there, and like just seeing the fact that like that church started right, and then started across from the street from a church's chicken, which is hilarious. And when I was going there, and you know what I'm saying, in the 90s, like, you know what I'm saying, I can't say how many times we found gun sitting there, somebody tossed out, boom, they tossed it in the church parking lot, whatever. And we were constantly trying to every week it was like, yo, let's go clean up. Every week it was like, yo, let's go. You know what I'm saying? The homeless dude that's always playing with the radio. He said he wanted some extra C batteries so he can keep playing his radio on the corner. Tell him he got to come to church. That was the thing. So like we were really out here. Like I had to be in the homeless shelter every weekend type stuff. Like just, you know what I'm saying, helping people out, telling them, yo, Oak Street, we got you, blah, blah, blah. And I noticed like I don't know where the money came from either, because like the congregation was mad little. And then randomly people would just show up. People would just be there. Like on something that I didn't know. And it's like the church we'd be like, oh, we dying out. Everybody, oh, they ain't nobody making it. And then randomly there'd just be a new family. Like every other week.
It do be like that.
And then like one time it was like a white family. I was like, where'd they come from? How they end up here? I didn't even expect that.
Yeah, they always ask the visitor to stand up and then be that white family. I had to be like, how did you find this church?
Yo, all right, so my at one point, one of my bus drivers, right, was a white lady, and Sunday, I just looked over, and she was in my church. I was like, yo, I was in middle school, right, and I was like, that's crazy. And I was like, oh, husband, black man. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now we there. Now I see. But then like her other part of the family, like her side of the family, start coming. So I was like, oh, okay. Now we got just regular white folk in here. This is all right. Like,
yeah,
I like this. This is all inclusive now. We weren't inclusive before, but we making it now. You know what I'm saying? We finally making progression.
Oh man. Let me see. What do I want to ask Deangelo right now?
Well, go ahead, because my eyelids is throbbing. That means it's almost time. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do the music before we go into the Herbsurdity stuff. Yeah, because I got questions about something very important.
What? Okay, all right. So you said funk is your main music genre that influenced you. What is your top 5 bands? I gotta get the rankings. I love the rankings.
Top 5 bands?
Yeah, or acts, music, or regular. I mean, single acts, whatever. Is Rick James funk?
Yes.
Okay, because I like Rick James a whole lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Top 5 bands.
I mean, if you ain't got 5, 3, I'll take whatever you got, man. It's cool. If you got one.
If I start naming them, they're gonna be like, it's gonna be like, okay, they're from Parliament. So you got Boosie Collins, okay. You got Parliament, you have George Clinton.
That's what, 3?
That's 3. Rick James is a good one.
You want to put that in there?
Michael Jackson, but that's not a band.
No, but the Jackson 5 is
Jackson 5. Okay,
look,
so yeah.
And look, Michael Jackson, right? So, all right, yeah, he is solo act. True.
Yeah.
He had his own band, right? But the reason his band was so important is because Michael Jackson, that's how, I don't know, I think I told you this before. When he wrote his own songs, he don't know how to play no instruments. Mm-hmm. He ain't like Prince, where he know how to, Prince know how to play like 5, 6, 17 instruments
Prince
or something.
Showing off. Yeah.
He be out here with a French horn, just, I picked it up this weekend. Like, he don't, whatever. But Michael Jackson ain't know how to play no instruments. Yeah. All he knew is that I know music. I can't tell you what the notes are. Mm-hmm. I know they sound like in my head. They say, all right, Mike, what it sound like in your head? He would beatbox. Michael Jackson was an expert beatboxer.
That does make sense with all the like scatting and that makes sense.
He would go to his band. And he had the same guys playing guitar, bass, drums, whatever. And he'd go to them, and the same crew, and he'd go, listen, got a new song for y'all. Gonna lay it down right now. Go ahead, write it up for me. Write the music up for me so y'all can play along with me. They said, all right, Mike, what it sound like? Well, I can't tell you, but it's and they'd be like, all right, Mike, and he'd be patting on himself and beatboxing all super hard. And they would take whatever his beatboxing was, and they knew like that was the bass. But that was, that might have been the cymbals on the drum. You know what I'm saying? So they had to play it out.
There's actually a song where he actually did that. I just can't think of the name of it. I was born. I can't think of the name of that song, but I have it.
No,
You
you're
know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
No, so
It's gonna bother me now.
No, but I found this out though, even more ridiculous. So if they said if they couldn't figure out what instrument it translated out to him beatboxing, like if they couldn't tell it was a saxophone, if Mike didn't know, like, all right, that's a trombone right there. Like if he couldn't tell them what instrument it was, and they couldn't figure out what note to make it and what instrument, and they would play it on several different instruments. They get a marimba out, like, is it this mic? And he'd be like, nah, that ain't the right sound. And so if they couldn't figure it out, what would happen is he would just beatbox at that particular spot in the middle of his song when recording it, which is why sometimes you hear it go,
The ad-libs and stuff.
that was literally him trying to do an instrument that he couldn't figure out what it was. And no one else could figure out what it was that he was hearing in his mind, right? That's MJ. So his band was completely necessary. I would consider his MJ's band as his own thing, because it take a lot of effort for a brother to hear somebody yell out, "I want my music to sound like bop 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 bop," and they be like,
Hey, you know what?
"Oh, okay,
I think James Brown might have did that too, though.
yo, that makes sense. That might be where Michael Jackson learned it
that's
from."
his major influence.
That is his influence too.
Yeah.
That is an influence, but Michael Jackson was influenced by James Brown.
That makes
That's all right.
The thing about it was Michael Jackson came up with the moonwalk, but James Brown was the moonwalking. But all the other stuff that James Brown was doing, Michael
Same
implemented
thing,
that from
That
from
makes
James.
sense.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael Jackson didn't come out with the moonwalk. He popularized it.
Yeah.
That was
somebody else. Who was
it was on Soul Train. It was a Soul Train dancer, like,
Okay.
officially that came up with the moonwalk. I forgot to do name. It was a documentary about it. It's crazy.
But when he did it on the MTV Awards was in 1984, he owned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And even the dude that like invented it said that he was like, "Yeah, I was coming in the Soul Train line. I did it. Michael Jackson seen it. He even told me, like, he said, the guy said Michael Jackson shouted about, say, hey man, I love your dance. You mind if I do that on stage?" And he was like, "Yeah, I would love to, Michael."
Yeah.
Like,
But then Mike did it, and it was like, oh, he ain't do it like I did it.
yeah, it was a whole nother story. Whole nother
Spun,
story.
landed on his toes.
Yeah, Michael
That's
Jackson
not
killed
fair.
it, bro. It's talking about some icon. It's ridiculous. I don't know.
Fair, man.
No, it ain't. It's out here.
All right, go ahead, Asher. You're off the
My
wall.
questions.
Yeah,
All right, because
we gotta get to both this time.
Because my cheeks is red too. Because I'm ready. Like I've been ready.
Get to both questions.
My facial cheeks, by the way.
What the-
Cause I don't know. I just felt weird saying like without clarifying.
You made it weird, man.
I know I made it out because I've been drinking, bro. We there. We in that moment. We in the zone. We hit it. So the first thing is, right, if you could remove any part from West Coast music, right? Remove now, not appreciate. I'm talking about if you thought it was this one unnecessary moment in West Coast musical history, what would it be? What's that one thing you throw away?
That's a good question. Honestly, I believe that everything happens for a reason. So everything that happened on the West Coast got us to where we are today. As far as removing anything, I can't come up with nothing offhand.
Come on, no, brother. Don't
Don't
be
run from the question.
Don't be your humble self. You know there's one thing that you just ain't won't down with, and you ain't appreciate. You know it. You know what's out there. Go ahead.
You're gonna have to give me a second on that one.
No, that's
how much time we got?
Go ahead.
Honestly, I believe like everything is destined. Everything is engraved in concrete. We're just living it out. You know what I mean? So to take something away would be to, like, it's the butterfly effect. If you mess something up, it's going to destroy where we are today.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I wouldn't move anything.
That's why it's a hard question.
Yeah. It's an extremely hard question, but I didn't really dig the skinny jeans generation.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Right, but that's just me though. You know what I mean? But the skinny jean generation transformed the whole West Coast to whereas everybody wears skinny jeans and the gangs have faded out.
Right.
So maybe a lot of people don't like it, but it had its own purpose. It served its purpose.
Yeah.
To the point where, okay, well, I don't have to sag. I don't have to, have my boxers and letting you looking at my behind all day.
Yeah.
We're gonna put on these skinny jeans and you can look at my behind and my legs, you know. So, but it's not what do you call it? It's not the word it's not dangerous. It's not when you see somebody sagging, California, somebody sagging it's like a
Or threatening, I guess.
it's threatening.
Red
It's
flag.
it's a trigger. It's I just can't think of the word right now, but when
An alarm, an alert.
it triggers you. You see somebody sagging. Oh, they're not from. I don't know him either. He's not from my neighborhood, so we need to approach him. Skinny jeans don't have that same effect.
Oh yeah,
You see what I mean?
Nobody's afraid of
Yeah, I
skinny
mean,
jeans.
this guy ain't no gangster. He got on skinny
He ain't
jeans. But the thing about it was, the guys with skinny jeans are the ones with all the sticks.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
they call it.
yeah. They got the
So
tools, bro.
it's like, okay, maybe he's not affiliated, but you're not really even going to approach somebody with skinny jeans. Whereas if the guy has on a different outfit, you would approach him. Skinny jeans, he ain't nobody.
Yeah, yeah.
So
He
in that
ain't
aspect, I
That's
wouldn't even
crazy.
remove the skinny jeans generation because they offered so much, they provided so much, and they changed a whole lot. You know what I mean? And that's how I just feel about the universe in whole. Because if you remove something, you don't know what else you're destroying.
That's true.
I seen a movie the other day, right?
Or what movie? What movie?
I have no idea. I can't remember the movie, but once I say this, you probably can tell me what the movie was.
Go ahead.
But it was written on a chalkboard that said, if the bees disappear from Earth, mankind only has 4 years to live.
I feel like that's true.
That is probably true. I don't know what movie that is.
That's hurt my feelings though. Yeah, it's yeah.
If the
Good
bees,
Lord.
if the bees ever left the Earth, I just can't think of the name of the movie. I just watched it. Like,
Is it The Happening?
No.
The Happening?
it might be The Happening.
Was,
I just
was-
watched that recently.
Was Mark Wahlberg in it?
Yes. Yes, The Happening.
Because you know, like,
Yeah.
God, I feel some type of
okay,
yeah.
so everybody, like, when COVID first was happening, right? Everybody was like, "Oh, it's the Contagion movie happening," but no, it was The Happening.
Look, no. Hold on.
That was it.
Hold on,
That was the name of the movie.
I hate to digress because I knew it was going to happen. The
what?
happening. Listen,
It's true.
listen. No.
I ain't saying The Happening is a good
no,
movie.
No, hold on.
So I know you about to say the quality of the movie.
No,
All
I'm
right.
not. Listen. Okay, I got some strong opinions about this movie and what Mark Wahlberg's performance because he could do better. It's where the meme of him going, "Hey buddy, hey guy," started, and it's because of that movie. And M. Night Shyamalan could have done better because he had one of the moments where he had a great idea, but I don't even know if he meant to have it. Okay, so there's this theory, this fan theory, which I need M. Night Shyamalan just to say it's true because it'll make his movies better. There's a fan theory that Signs,
Yeah.
The Happening,
Okay.
and After Earth are a trilogy.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I can see that.
Right?
I can see that.
So as Signs is, we see aliens coming, they're afraid of water. Right? Like, this is ridiculous. This planet's mostly water. Why would they even come here?
Right.
The Happening is, it's not that the plants are killing everybody. It's that it's an alien attack against the world. They're like, yo, okay, so yeah, water messes us up. How can we stop y'all? But y'all need to breathe, right? Air. We're going to have an airborne thing to take y'all out, right? This is how we're going to attack the planet so y'all can't mess us up with water guns, bro. We're like, this is embarrassing, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is.
Because if the water hurts them, that means there's something in it that's volatile to them. That obviously the anatomy is different.
Oxygen, probably.
Probably, right? Yeah. So what they do, take away the oxygen, start making you, you know what I'm saying, go a little nuts, so you get bonkers, right? So the whole thing with After Earth, they talk about it, it's like, obviously people left Earth because Earth became uninhabitable.
Mm-hmm.
They came back, things were different.
Sure.
If an alien race decided to take over the Earth by making it uninhabitable, which happened in The Happening, it was obviously uninhabitable. You just walk outside, breathe, you kill yourself.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, but due to mankind not being there, evolution happened differently.
Right.
there was not that carbon footprint from mankind anymore. So things evolved differently. They had to adapt to the air being different, whatnot. And then you get these like crazy beasts and whatnot. And they tell you, like, even in that After Earth, they're like, they don't even know if they could breathe the air on Earth.
Right.
They're still scared of it.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. When you look at it as a 3-part series,
Yeah.
it actually lines up. It makes perfect sense. And you get to see the before, the middle, and after. And it's genius.
I'm tired of bailing out.
M. Night Shyamalan, you don't want to bail him out no more?
No. I really don't.
No, go ahead, because the camera can see it.
The Happening is a horrible movie. We're not gonna bail M. Night Shyamalan out for making horrible movies in that time period. Then third, After Earth is nothing but a Scientology propaganda movie. I love Will Smith. I love Jaden, but that's all that was. It's okay.
I can't. I don't advocate for the quality of those movies. I'm not gonna say I love them. I did not.
Science is fine. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's fine. That's when he was really good.
I'm just trying to say that if they were all three connected, it makes them better movies.
Yeah, but look, they did that probably after he made, was it Glass, Split, and Unbreakable, or Unbreakable first?
No, that theory existed before that, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, the theory existed as soon as After Earth came out. Like, there were literally fans just like, wow, this is a great trilogy. And I was just like, wait, what you talking about? Like, I was like, what? And they were like, well, yeah, Happening was a sequel to Signs. And I was just like, what? and there's like one line in Happening that made everyone think that is that there's something about some object or something in a newspaper article in the movie in the sky, right? And the fact that people like look like right before the thing happens.
Oh, they did that shit in Cloverfield.
There's a whole thing about neurotoxins, okay. and then there's this moment at the end of the movie, right, where you see it's happening in other countries, right? Because at first it's like, oh, it's just right here in America, and then it's like, oh, it's also in Paris. What? And then it's just like, oh, those white people are having a bad time too.
Oh man.
I mean, yeah, I ain't got to get into that, but I wanted to do.
Second question.
But instead they're in the park and they do this, and they look up in the air. Right? They don't look at the trees. They look up in the air like this. Ha! And then the movie ends. That's supposed to be you realizing, oh no, it's aliens the whole time. That was the twist, because the movie didn't have a real twist.
I thought it was supposed to be plants killing people, but
no, but that's not a twist, because you think that from early on in the movie.
I mean, I didn't know. You
get the whole nature healing itself and getting rid of you thing, but the twist is, no, it's not planet Earth killing people. It's because aliens. And then you're like, what? That's less ridiculous than the Earth killing itself. Like, that's crazy.
I mean,
it's less ridiculous. So the twist is it's an anti-twist.
I mean, well, not to get super like on this whole track, but the Earth has a bunch of ways to get rid of us. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. Sharks living in volcanoes.
Earthquakes.
That is, if I don't know if y'all ever heard, they found out that there's sharks in volcanoes. And ever since that happened, I was just like, oh, so we keep claiming we the top of the food chain, but in actuality,
yo, so you mean if a volcano erupt and shark, man? Anyway,
and sharks come out.
Question. I'm getting freaked out.
Just surviving lava temperatures. They don't care.
Nope. Ask
Sharks,
your question.
Bro.
Ask your question.
That's why they've been around since prehistoric
Let's
time. They
move
don't
on,
care
man.
about nothing.
Let's move on.
Earthquakes. They regrow teeth. Facts. California know about earthquakes. Destroying. They say California could fall off the face of the United States.
That is crazy.
If one good earthquake hit, just went in the right spot, just real quick, and then like Pangea ain't finished. That's what they trying to say. They trying to say that Pangea happened, it didn't finish. California next,
and then Texas and Las Vegas would have a beach.
Wow,
facts. That'd be nice. They need that because Corpus Christi is not the answer. They voted red. Everybody.
Oh man.
Corpus Christi, he ain't act right.
What's your second question here? I've been trying to get us there. We've been
no man. I like to run from it so I can extend the episode. I know. I hate that the episodes end.
We got plenty of time. We got like a whole nother.
But y'all Sesame Street, the Muppets always tell y'all like, man, I hate that the show got to end. Because even though it's gonna be another show, but it might be your last. You never know. And I miss it, man.
We haven't got to the conspiracy theory stuff.
Oh yeah, I need to get it. All right, second question. Now, we see what you do for the community, right?
Absolutely.
We see what's important. We see what your inspirations are, right? But what's for Deangelo? What's your hobby? What gives you that waking moment? What's you wake up in the morning and what you want to do for you, right? What makes you happy? What puts that smile bigger on your face?
The smile gets bigger on my face when other people around me smile.
I like that.
When people around me smile, I'm happy. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but I don't have kids. I never. It's not something that I like. I got to grow up and get married and have kids. So.
Right.
My motivation is that basically, I feel like I'm a servant. I won't say for anyone particular. However, I know my purpose in life is like to do what I can for everyone around me. You know what I mean? And it's selfish to the point where I don't do it for myself. I do it for those around me. Like, well, you should jump in a rat race and do what everybody else around you is doing. I've never been one to follow the social norm.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what makes me happy is just seeing those around me happy. You know what I mean? I play hard. I mean, I work hard and I play hard. So when it's time for me to play, I play. I have a good time too. But it's not really necessarily all about me. If there's an old lady across the street, if I can help her get across the street faster, I mean that serves its purpose. Karma is a big thing for me too.
Yeah.
Because some people call it karma, some people call it prayer, some people call it meditation. What you put into the universe, you get back.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes faster than other times.
Yeah.
So you could throw a rock across the street, it might come back in. That's how fast karma works. So you have to. I believe in like the universe and what you put out, it comes back.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are, what you did, or where you're from. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I might knock your water over, right? I turn around. My water's on the ground too. You know? So
Yeah.
I mean, it's the universe, you know. And people underestimate, like we were just talking about the happening. People underestimate stuff like that because, regardless of who you believe in, what you believe in, or what you do, there are forces out there that make sure we get what we got coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm a strong believer in that. So I try to pull out as many positive vibes as I can because I know they're coming back. You know what I mean? If I help you today, tomorrow like 10 more people gonna help me.
Yeah.
That's been my whole life. You know what I mean? Whatever I did whatever I did for the community, or whatever I did for a friend of mine, or whatever I did for anyone, I got it back tenfold.
That's definitely a good way to look at
And
it.
that's the I want to say not. That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I try to. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah.
So they're like, "Why you always so happy, man?" Because I know.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here. You know, I went through a whole lot in my childhood, you know, and I always smiled through it all, you know. Like I was like, this too shall pass.
Right.
I mean, so just going to go through it. It's just an experience, and everything is an experience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been here as long as I've been here. It wasn't by accident,
Right.
you know.
Like, I had another thought in the middle of that. I got to talk about it because I feel like we didn't bring it up, but I want to bring it up. I'm diving deep. He's cool. I go deep.
Go ahead.
All right. So for the audience at home and listening or watching, have you ever had to deal with California police officers?
Yes, all my life.
Now, recently, without telling all your business, you had to deal with New York police officers.
Yeah.
which one is better? Like which one was easier to deal with? That's what I gotta know. We gotta know which police are the worst.
Oh man,
I gotta know East Coast, West Coast, which police were most difficult.
I mean, on the surface, I want to say New York because they are dealing with all of the terrorist attacks, and they have a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
To the point where when I saw them, they were the nicest police officers ever, right? But when they approached me from behind with the vest and the helmet with the light on the side, and
it's like a Call of Duty character.
Yeah, exactly. They look like Call of Duty characters. So they had the guns on their legs right here, and they had the army fatigues on, and they came into the car and said, "Can I get your license?" I said, "Yeah, here you are." And I had he's like, "Man, put your hands down." I had my hands on the window. He's like, "Put your hands down. You can put them back on the steering wheel. We're not. I mean, you were taking pictures, so you're not a threat." You know what I mean? Because I rode by them. I took a picture of them. I took a picture of the bridge, and I was a tourist in New York.
Yeah.
So everything I seen, I took a picture of it, and it's all on my Instagram. You know what I mean? So,
plug your Instagram. You haven't done it yet.
Instagram. It's hate us. It's not the hate on you. It's the hate on us.
It's like hate_us.
Hate underscore us.
Okay.
HATE_us, because the first, like when a person receives a Grammy or Country Music Award or whatever award that is, they be like, "Hey man, first of all, I want to thank my haters." Because y'all the ones that make me famous, all that stuff y'all talking about. I'm like, well, shit, if they making money, we hate us too.
Yeah.
We want to make some money.
Yeah.
So all y'all haters mention us too in y'all comments and stuff and talk about us. That way we'll be famous too. Right.
A lot of people talk about how hip hop does that a lot, but I need them to know that like Dolly Parton was one of the first people that
thank the haters, huh?
Yeah, to give an award speech and be just like, "I'd like to thank every man that never believed in me." I was like, "Yeah,
man.
Dolly."
Dolly's out here talking her shit. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
For every man who didn't love me properly and told me I'd never be nothing but a bimbo. I was like, yes.
And then, like, on the other hand, New York versus California police, right?
Yeah.
California police have a different criteria as far as what they look for in profiling, so to speak.
Right.
Okay.
Because they have the gangs.
Right.
There's a different gang every 3 square miles.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's crazy.
in California, they actually the law is for them to pull you over if they suspect anything. You don't have to run a red light. You don't have to have a broken tail light. Long as if you like a gang member, if you're wearing a white T-shirt, they actually can pull you over.
They New York actually adopted L.A. Policy. Now they got the same regulations. Like if you're in a group of more than 10 people, automatically you can be stopped, questioned, frisked, seizured, whatever they want, because you're in a group of more than 10 people. And I want to say it started off as 15 in L.A. Then New York set theirs to 10, right? And then when L.A. found out New York set theirs to 10, they go, "Ooh, we'll go 5."
Yeah.
So if you got 4 friends in L.A., tell one of them go home.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
But they're not doing that in Beverly Hills, though.
Yes, they are.
They are?
You can't you cannot have 4 people in the car in Beverly Hills.
What?
Beverly Hills.
Question.
I mean, Venice Beach. If you go to Venice Beach, you bet not have 4 people in the car. I mean, you actually can. I mean, it's not, but you have to be legal.
Yeah.
If you have 4 people in the car, you bet not have nothing else in that car.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
so
crazy.
that's just the way it works. You know, I mean, it's like, and it makes sense too. It's not like
denim cut off jeans over there.
Yeah.
Cut off shorts. They're ridiculous, and they still pull them over.
It's not, and it's not like they have good cause to do so.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's nothing against the police department. It's nothing against California. It's nothing against any area out there. But they have reasonable cause to suspect something's going on if you got 4 people in the car.
Yeah.
Where are all 4 of y'all going?
Right.
If it was 3 of them, three is okay. 3, we're not going.
It's an odd number.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna be outnumbered
Yeah,
probably.
it's 4 or 5 of y'all in the car at the same time. Y'all finna go do something.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Y'all been driving around for 10 hours. We seen y'all pass us 15 times. You know what I mean? Y'all went that way, then y'all came back this way. Y'all went that way. I mean, if you're going somewhere, go somewhere that's cool. But
I never told any of my awkward cop interactions on this show before. I've had a bunch of them. I've been arrested more than once. I've never gone to jail. Never had trial, by the way. But I've definitely been in trouble with the police for a minute. So that there's a situation. This is a light one, by the way. It's super light. But I was with. I lived with 2 people at one time. Right. I had 2 roommates. It's like my best friend. And like a friend of his, mutual friends, right? And then so like Keith and Joanna, they listen to this show. And we were driving Colonial Heights, we call it, and we were leaving the malls. We just seen a movie, and some horror movie, it was like Insidious 2 or something,
Okay.
like some because they're both goths,
Sure.
right? It's like a black goth and then like a white goth. This is what we're doing, and so what the police saw was 2 black guys and a white girl. With a bald head. She had her head like buzzed down. And we were going 25 miles an hour.
And
but I mean at the time it was 35 or something, right?
so y'all was under the speed limit.
Yeah, but we didn't realize we were under the speed limit because we were leaving the movie theater area, which was like 25.
Yeah.
Right, and then it goes to 35. And then it goes to like 55 later.
Yeah.
So we were still going the movie theater area, like the mall area speed limit, because we were talking, right, and like we were just talking about the movie and whatnot, and so we were just still going like that regulation, like, hey, this is a residential area, act right, speed limit, and the cop pulled us over, he's like, hey, what's wrong with y'all? And I was just like, what? Like we were all confused, super confused. And then, like, at first they thought, because her head was buzzed, that it was a guy, right? Once they realized it was a female, like, the whole situation changed and then became much more dangerous, hands on pistols and stuff. Like, I was like, this is very awkward for me because I'm a passenger. I'm not even driving. I'm just in the back seat, right? And I'm drunk. Like, I'm super drunk. This is before the days of, like, nonstop Jubilee. So this was... This is back in my Miller High Life 40 days. I'd be like, yo, give me 4 40s, bro. That's what I was doing. You go to a party, you take 4 40s. If you can't get tore up in 4 40s, you probably alcoholic.
Yeah.
So that's how I knew I wasn't alcoholic, because I just drink 4 40s and I'd be straight. You know what I'm saying? I'd be relaxed, and so I'd calm down after that. So I had 5 40s that night.
Oh no!
I know it was too much,
Yeah,
and that's why I knew the limit was supposed to be set, because the cop was talking, right? And I was just like, man, I hope he don't talk to me. And then I realized he was talking to me, and I was just like, I'm in the back seat. Why would you talk to me? This is so awkward. And then it's like, y'all been smoking anything tonight? And none of us smoke weed. So it was very awkward for us. It was like, no,
Right.
what? Why? Why would you ask that? And they're like, you drunk? And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm in the back seat. What are you talking about? That's why. What? This is where you're supposed to be if you're drunk.
Yeah.
This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. The back seat. This is we're doing everything legally here. I don't understand what. So why'd you pull us over? I said, were we speeding? I kept looking at the speed gauge, like that thing broke.
You was asking too many questions.
Yo, I was just chattering, bro, because it was too many people at the window. Like,
Yeah.
why was there more than one cop? It was ridiculous. And then he was like, "You guys going on the speed limit?" It was like, okay.
That's illegal. It's illegal to go under the speed limit just as well as it is to go 1 mile over the speed limit.
Yeah, and so I was very confused. I was like, I don't think you know how cars work, right? So that's when I got quiet, because I had that thought, and I was like, I probably shouldn't say that one out loud. I'm just gonna be quiet. And I sat there for a minute. He's like, you got anything to say? And I was like, yes. I said, just like that. He said, well, go ahead and say it. I said, I'd rather not say it. I'm just saying I do have things I could say. I just don't think it's best because I've been
Like,
intoxicated.
get out the car.
I said that. And he was just like, all right, well, you're not driving, so why don't we search the vehicle? And I was just like, It's not my car.
It's not your car.
It's not my car. And so, Keith, my boy Keith was driving. He was just like, yeah, it's cool. And when he said it was cool, they were like, well, y'all have a nice day. Yeah, because
we wanted y'all to act up, basically.
Yeah, but we wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
We were just very cordial.
I was about to say, Keith don't seem like he would be that type anyway.
No, he is the most relaxed dude I've ever seen in my entire life.
I've only met him once, but he seemed very chill.
Even though he was with me at the time that I should have gone to jail and didn't. But that's a story for another time. so I put my nuts on a cop car, but we're talking about that.
Oh, no. I'll never forget the time when I was in Colonial Heights and somebody just yelled out the window, hey, get your brake light fixed. They're going to pull you over. I was like, what? Nah, they're going to pull you over. Get your shit fixed. I was like, all right. I was just like, damn, it's like that out here. He was like, yeah, get that shit fixed right now.
Yeah, if anybody ever goes to Benny's Tavern in Colonial Heights, Virginia, they will mark your tires. Cops will come out with chalk and mark your tires, and if they see that tire move, they will pull you over when the night's over, whether or not you've been drinking and driving or not. They do not care. So if you were the DD, they were going to pull you over. Make sure you have your license and registration if you go to Benny's Tavern. Make sure everything's up to code, up to date, because they will, in fact, pull you over, regardless of if you've been drinking or not. They only care if you were in that parking lot or not.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to this conspiracy theory, because I got one.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hear it.
So it's this whole show. It's a whole show based on this premise. I'm going to pass it off to both of y'all.
The premise. Not premise.
Yeah, premise, whatever.
Tomato.
Let me talk. Let me talk. I'm talking. I got this. Anyway, so hip-hop, as it currently is going now, is used to feed the private prison industry.
Ooh.
And it was decided in a corporate office by somebody. That's the theory. What do y'all think?
As in right now, or you mean it started in the 90s?
In the 90s to now.
Oh, yes. That's fine. Yes. I thought you meant it just started, and I was like, I
No.
Oh.
It's a whole podcast about it now. They going back and detailing why it could be that way.
I say yes, because I talk about industry plants and stuff a lot on the show before. And one thing I noticed, there's a difference between a rapper who wants to tell you about the struggles of growing up in their neighborhood and what they came from and how to progress past it, right? It's the West Coast episode. We talk Nipsey, Kendrick. They both do the same thing. They tell you, say, hey, life where I grew up wasn't the best.
Yeah.
But this is how it can be better.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a difference between that and glorifying how terrible it might have been. Right? At no point are they telling you, hey, the best thing to do is go ahead and just rob and steal and forget everybody else. That's not a thing. Right? But there definitely is a lot of artists I've heard of, like, and let's say, I'm not going to name names because I'm not trying to be sued. You know what I'm saying? Because if they find out, it's on it.
I don't, yeah.
But it seems more like they glorify the things that are bad about what they had growing up. Like we consider like not super nice to do, right? The criminal aspect of it all, and then encourage other people to do so with no consequences for the actions, even though that same person might end up being locked up later. But then you find out later, like some of them they're not even from that area. They didn't actually act like that. They're not from that neighborhood. Mm-hmm. They're industry plants. So somebody in a corporation, somebody in a record label decided to mold them, right, to change their gimmick. Yeah. Change their look. Say this will sell. This is what you influence. So if you're perpetuating that image that's not real, it's not like they're showing their genuine self. If you're showing your genuine self and talking about your actual life story, great. Do you.
Yeah.
No matter how harsh it may seem, no matter how gritty it may seem, if it's reality, it's reality. And I'm proud of you for telling your story, right? Thank you for telling your story for the masses. We'll interpret it how we see fit. But if it's not really your story, if you really grew up in some suburb 30 miles outside the city you rapping about, with a nice life and a nice family and a nice car and a nice, and a puppy on your porch, right? But you get on the mic and you talk about pit bulls and crack houses and growing up in the flop house, and you out here robbing and sticking people up because that's all you had, blah 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 blah. But now you a millionaire because you moving keys, but you ain't never even. Sauce Walker from Texas said it best. Y'all rap about selling it, and y'all ain't even cooked it, right? You watch your cousin do that,
Right.
but you out here rapping about it like it's your life, and it's not your life, because the record label said, "Hey, rap about this," right? And it's why you end up getting rappers like Lupe Fiasco that come out and be like, "I'm just skateboarding," and they just rap about skateboarding, and people are like, "Man, they soft." Like, what? No, they're real. Some of the guys you listening to talking about they moving keys, they ain't never seen one.
Yeah.
but they rapping about it.
People was mad at Chance for rapping about him being married instead of like rapping about being like high on drugs.
But that's what he know.
Yeah.
That he know being married, bro.
Yeah.
And he's an independent artist, which means he won't influence by a record label to pressure him into selling some sort of negative image to perpetuate a stereotype to our youth, which I appreciate, because it happened a lot in the 90s. And you can talk about CB4. Anybody ever seen the movie CB4?
Oh, MC
Gusto.
Classic.
Dead Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like this, we NWA, it was a real thing, and people always comment on people that know, like, NWA Straight Outta Compton is not their first album. It's not. NWA and the Posse is a different album entirely, because there's groups like Rendezvous and the Fela Crew on that album, and it's a different sound. There's like electronica music on it and stuff. Like NWA had a different sound.
Because Dr. Dre was weird, man.
He was weird.
What about the World Class Wrecking Crew?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's old school.
Oh, wait, time out. Deangelo, what do you think of this theory?
Yeah.
I think I misunderstood the question, because you said the influence of music on the prison system.
So the theory goes is that in the 90s there was some secret meeting with, I guess, the heads of music labels to promote like rap music that would influence people to commit crimes, do whatever, negative stuff, so they could basically feed the prison system.
The big push of gangster rap.
Yeah.
That happened in the 90s.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
It is.
In the 80s, NWA, there was a bunch of songs I won't even mention, but we all know the names of them. There was just NWA early. That's when DJ Mike T and CNW came out. Compton's Most Wanted. That was before DJ Quick, but there was a lot of other artists in the 80s that came out that influenced that era. It was all about gangster. That's what they're yelling. Yeah. It's not about a salary. It's all about reality. But that whole era, that was the 80s. That was the crack cocaine era. Yeah. That was the era where they were pushing all this negative influence. And music is a powerful tool. Music has influenced us forever.
Yeah.
From Beethoven to where we're at now, to rock and roll, country, all the music has been guided in a direction to influence the masses.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So we can even go now to what they're doing. They're influencing all our women to be independent. You know what I mean, which is not a bad thing, but women, relationships work better together, but if you're pushing this direction for the women and this direction for the men, I mean, there's no in between.
Cohesion.
So y'all independent. Yeah, we don't need no man. Those other the other group, bills. I'm not gonna say no names, but all that is influences our community. All of that is the direction of the music industry. All of that is what they get paid to do.
Yeah.
I mean, my label, we never, everybody in my label are actual gang members, but you'll never hear anybody say which gang they're from. Mm-hmm. I told them, you can't come in my studio with that. In my studio, we're going to do all lyrics.
Okay.
You'll never hear either side on my label, period. And I won't say I regret it, because that is the thing to do. Right now, if we would have gang bang on our labels, on my label back when we started, we'll be millionaires right now. But before, when you came in the door, I was like, put that over there and you put that over there and rap.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear about where you came from.
All right.
Yeah.
Just give me your skills.
Yeah,
what can you rap about?
Leave your block.
Yeah.
Leave your block.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm a lyricist. Technically, if a football team, you got a football team, you got the cornerback, the quarterback, the defensive end, the tackle, whatever the position may be, right? Mm-hmm. If they had a rap team, you had gangster rapper, East Coast, West Coast, whatever, and then lyricists, I would be in that position over there, number 4 lyricist.
Right.
I mean, I'm lyricist.
Strong safety
lyricist. I want to rap about like what type of metaphors I can create.
Okay.
All bars, no sizzle. Yeah,
exactly.
You get the fanfare. Just straight rhymes.
I'm a man on a mission. You simply put it, I'm an emissary.
Okay.
You know, a soldier got to eat and keep the world sucker free.
Yeah.
Hunt them down. I'm like a bloodhound in snow, sleet, or rain, because these bastards are just like roaches infesting the game. You know what I mean? So I just,
God.
That's just how I rap. You know, I can tell you what I went through, how hard it's for me growing up. But no, I don't want to tell you about that.
Yeah.
Let's have an intellectual conversation on this microphone.
Yeah.
I mean, you go, then I go, and you go. But there are a lot of avenues to express that. Mm-hmm. But you don't get paid for that.
Right.
That's not where the $20 million contracts come from.
No, it's way more simple.
Now, if you want to make a $20 contract, a $20 million contract, you say, I want to destroy my people and kill everybody. And we're going to beat them up.
Wild dancing.
And we're going to war.
Hey, yo, wild dancing.
Wild dancing.
Bro, so I literally, I think about all the time when Ice Cube left NWA, and he comments on like, y'all ever seen two people trying to dance battle each other in a video? Like he had to throw it in the middle of a song because you could tell it was irritating him.
Yeah.
And it's like he started off like, and that's the worst part. So even like listening to Ice Cube tell his story, it was never supposed to be about gangster rap to Ice Cube.
Yeah, he had a message with his stuff.
He had a political statement he was trying to make, and he was like forced to use gangster rap to implement it to get his foot in the door, right? And so he wanted to branch off from that. He's like, there's no way I can't just be political and just to tell him how I feel and how I'm upset.
Yeah.
And so he went on to do that and had it, his technically solo career, but he's still with the Lynch Mob and with like Public Enemy, who was doing very political hip hop.
Yeah.
And so now, this happened because of the recent election. I got to talk about it. So I thought somebody had fed me some misinformation when Lil Pump and Lil Wayne endorsed Donald Trump, and they said Ice Cube had endorsed Donald Trump when they told me, and I was like, America's Most Wanted with the triple Ks.
He definitely
did that.
He definitely never endorsed.
And I was about to cry because I was like, man, money really do change you. And I was about to, you tear down your posters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You heroes lost type stuff. Yeah. And I was like, man, they told me don't listen to celebrities, but I didn't know that was one of them. I thought he was an activist first, celebrity second.
This is what happened, right?
Me, bro.
He sat down with him, apparently, and he didn't. I don't know if he sat down with Trump himself or like a member of Trump's team.
Right.
But whatever, he sat down with him and discussed the plan that he had for Black America, right? Cool. They used that for Trump's platinum plan, right? But all of a sudden, because everything is so either you're with us or against us, any type of crossing the aisle is seen as treason.
So they told us Ice Cube was on Kanye level, but then secretly, Ice Cube was still on Ice Cube.
He was still Ice Cube.
He was like going in and say, hey, listen, you ain't doing enough for our people. What you gonna do about it? And Trump was like, well, I throw you a small bone, but it ain't gonna be a lot. And Ice Cube was like, yeah, whatever, bro. As long as I get something, because I appreciate that, because I feel like that is what's needed, and I do thank Ice Cube for reaching out, trying to make some sort of change happen. Because if I can't even talk about West Coast without talking about activism. We haven't gotten to that point of the show, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway. So I was talking about last night with what Well, she said she'd be willing to be on the show, so I actually won't mind talking about it. I was talking about with Kay Lopez. She was mentioning we were talking about activism in our communities. She was a Lord, at one point, like just activism as far as Hispanics go, but also what it's like to be like Afro-Latino and Black activism in general, just civil rights for people of color, no matter what the color, right? How necessary it is. And it's strange, like we talk a lot about like what happens on the East Coast and don't realize that a lot of the activism talk we talk about actually start on the West Coast as well. Like there's a branch.
That's just like just completely forgetting the South.
Yo, so we don't forget the South. The South, a lot of East Coast stuff does happen in the South, and then the East Coast just claims it because they act like, oh, it was New York. I said, but it's more like LGBTQ plus was like New York area, and then like when it comes to like Black civil rights, that was DC down, right?
Yeah.
Like so it's like Southern, right? And then Hispanic civil rights started like in the West Coast and made its way over.
Yeah.
But Deangelio and I was talking about the Panthers earlier.
Right.
Right. It's very important, and I feel
that
like
started out west though.
Yeah,
That started
and
out
that's the thing. Like I feel like the West Coast, even at the start of like quote unquote West Coast gang culture, right, was started off as a protest motion, right? So I wonder, at what point don't we recognize that aspect of it? And I feel like we always forget, and the media. It's because the media is constantly feeding us everything bad that's ever happened, right? Every negative thing that's ever happened in a group.
This was sales though.
Yeah, and they don't mention why it was necessary to begin with. It's like, you guys ever heard of like Knights of Columbus?
What do you mean? Like
you ever heard the Knights of Columbus?
I've heard the name. I don't know what like in reference though.
It's a Catholic group that started, and I mean it started like kind of as a support group, same way just like gang started, right? Just like West Coast gang started. It's the same principle.
Okay.
I went to a Greek Orthodox church not so long ago for a Greek festival, right? And they talk about their organization and whatnot, and all over the church, big mural and everything. And then the guys will tell you, old Greek guys will tell you in there, say, yeah, back in the day, the Klan was a problem and they didn't like Greeks, so we started this whole organization, blah, 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 to deflect the Klan. And then you talk about, the same way they talk about it, I said, it's the same thing as gang culture. It's the same thing. I said, but the difference is they only tell you all the positive reasons behind it, right? And I feel like that's a thing we always neglect. It's like there's a reason we start these groups. There's a reason we start. It all starts off as community outreach. And so just like, starting from scratch records, like it's about the community first. The media tries to manipulate that and taint it and muddy it up. So it's about something else, right? And then we feed off of it because we're constantly being pressured as a society. But what's most important above all else is that it's community first.
Right.
As long as we put our community first and we're talking about the safety of our neighborhood, that's when the narrative can change.
Yeah.
And then what's happened throughout history is that now that we got Start From Scratch Records going, we also have Earphone Records going. Earphone Records is down the street from Start From Scratch Records. Earphone Records, somebody was driving down the street and they threw a bottle out the window and it hit Start From Scratch Records. So now they got beef. So in the media, what they're going to press is that, okay, the Start From Scratch records don't like Earphone Records. And we're going to pump that up through the media to where there is going to be actually a beef, and it's going to
drive up sales.
It's going to drive up sales, and it's going to evolve until an actual beef because everybody's feeding into it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same thing, East Coast, West Coast.
Biggie and Pac.
Crips, Bloods,
Which was a weird concept to begin with, because if people talk about it, but then at the same time, who is traveling that far across America on a regular basis? Most of those people never left their neighborhood before.
Yeah, you know.
The people who was really in the trenches, they don't even leave their city.
Yeah.
No, man, but it was something to talk about.
The 3 mile square radius.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like they was going to Brooklyn and talking smack. Like that's not a thing.
It was
that wasn't
to talk
real.
about. It was also it was to sell magazines, man. Source was trying to sell magazines. But we got to wrap this thing up.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's leave the rest of the conspiracy theories in our heads.
Yeah. The timer went off, but I wanted to let you.
Oh, yo, you're right. Because we had to stop. All right. One last thing before we go. That's one last thing. Videography, because we didn't get a chance to really get into it. You're a videographer.
Yes, sir.
Tell everybody your preferred method of videography, because
this is cool.
It's very important for people who don't know you. Because everybody who knows you already know. They familiar. But for those who don't, let them know something.
There are many methods to videography. However, personally, I have a drone. I have a DJI Mavic, which I purchased a couple of years ago. It has a 4-mile range. I'm not sure if you guys, everybody watches movies, but all those old scenes where they couldn't get inside of that area without a helicopter, the drones do it now. You know, and mine actually goes 40 miles an hour, has a 4-mile range. There's a return to home function, to whereas if I ever lose the drone, it'll return to home. There's GPS, and it's connected through the satellites, and so it has a longitude and latitude area to where it would return to. So when you launch the drone initially, there's a camera on the bottom of the drone which takes pictures of where it took off from. So when the drone returns back to where it took off from, it remembers the area because of the satellites and the latitude and longitude lines.
Nice.
And also, like if you watch, like when without mentioning a specific name of real estate, when they do the profiles of the house, it's actually a drone that's doing all the footage.
Yeah.
Survey team.
Yeah. So technically, anybody interested in having, drone footage for video, or I do edit videos, and I shoot music videos also. So again, if you go to my YouTube page, which is JNR1024, you'll see there's approximately probably about 100 videos on there.
Okay.
But I'm going to say 80% of those videos I recorded and edited myself.
That's what's
Like
up.
that's quality.
That's what's up.
Now,
And it's all 4K.
well, ooh, I'm tired of 240. That's what's up.
No.
Now, for those who are interested, there's gonna be more Deangelo Edmonson on our holiday special episode. It won't be coming out right after this one, but it'll be coming out close to the holidays. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. We're gonna be doing something special for y'all. I've never told y'all to like and subscribe before. Do it because I said so. It just feels like the thing I should be doing now. We're finally getting to the point where we're about to get 50 subscribers, and we need 10 times that to do something bigger.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with the 44 we got. I love y'all.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody watching, everybody listening, we appreciate the love. I want to give a shout out to a clothing company. That's okay.
Talk about that.
This lovely hoodie that I got on, I had purchased from. Make sure I got the name right. Black Butterfly Shirts. They're on Instagram. You can hit them up, DM for the order. They got hoodies and shirts all with this awesome logo on it. So hopefully,
that
everybody
does look
can
like some
see
pretty decent quality there.
So yeah, pretty fast shipping once they printed it up.
And I got a D'Angelo. This shirt you got on as well. The quality of this is also pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So we gonna put some links and some subscriptions somewhere and some description somewhere. We gonna make that.
This gonna be a
happen.
loaded episode for y'all.
D'Angelo got a lot of links. I want to make sure you guys are experiencing a full wealth of what he's got to offer. It's a man with Yes, there's a man. It's a man with a lot going on, and you blink and you gonna miss it. Right? It's too much to absorb, and I want you guys to absorb it all. Right? Take your time, get into it fully. You will be blessed. Right? So that being said, this has been the Herbsurdity Podcast with Alex and Herb. To my left is my co-host,
Just Alex.
My name is Edberto Bastos El Segundo. They call me Herb. And our guest today has been Deangelio, Quincy Bones, Edmonson. And I appreciate you. Good willing and God bless. Mooch. What's he up? For the family. Hell is you saying? I am the man, I go super saiyan when I'm on the beat. Piles of sand, buckets and pans, I get to the bands when I'm in the streets. Wear hands on feet, unique. My stick, a new technique. Don't fuck with